In this video, I'm going to look at how you can set the font style for the X and Y axis and the graph title of a Matplotlib graph. Now, you have seen this computer program in the previous video in the playlist, and very quickly you can see here that I'm importing Matplotlib, Pyplot and NumPy. Here I'm creating two NumPy arrays, and these three lines set the X label, Y label and title for the graph. And this line will plot the graph, and here we show the graph so we can view it on the screen. So when this program executes, what we're going to see is this. Depending upon your understanding of the program I've just briefly looked at, you may wish to go back to look at the previous video in the playlist where I discuss the program in a bit more detail. In this video, what I'm going to be looking at is how we can set the style of these, where this is the title, this is the label for the y-axis, and this is the label for the x-axis. I'm going to make the graph a little smaller so we can view the program at the same time. Let's consider this program statement, and you can see I'm using PLT, which is Matplotlib, as defined by this. I'm invoking this method, and this is passing in the various parameters. It passes in the string x-axis, and you can see that appears here. Now, if you have a look at this, you can see it is blue, and that's because here we set the color to blue. The size is set to 15, and the weight is bold. And if you have a look at it, the size is 15, the font size, and it is indeed bold. If you look at this program statement, then it is responsible for placing this on the plot. And it is this string, it's got the color blue, and it's got the size and the weight, as you can see, respectively 15 and bold. This line will place this on the plot, and you can see that it's blue, size 15 and bold. Now look at these parameters, or if you prefer, options to the function, and you can see the color is blue, the size is 15 and the weight is bold. If you come to this program statement, you can see here this is identical to this. Here we've got blue, size 15 and weight is bold. If you look to this program statement, look here, you can see this is identical to both of these. If you decided that you wanted these three to be red instead of the current blue, then you would have to alter the program in the following way. You would have to come to here and change this blue to red. Likewise, you'd have to change the blue here to red, and you would have to change the blue here to red. In other words, you have to edit three separate program statements. Now, there is a better way to set up the style of the fonts that you wish to use for your label and title of a plot. I'll show the alternative way on this slide, and you can see on this line I've created a dictionary that I've called my_font, and the dictionary has the following key value pairs. It has color blue, size 15 and weight bold. Let's turn our attention to this program statement, and you can see I still have the string x-axis that I wish to be displayed on the plot, whereas here what you can see, this is capable of being assigned a dictionary, and of course the dictionary is this one here. So this program statement is receiving this as a string, and it's also receiving a dictionary. And this dictionary is this one, and you can see the three key value pairs are defining the color, the size, and the weight as blue, 15, and bold. You can also see that the assigning of the dictionary has occurred here when you're plotting the Y label, and here when you're plotting the title. So for this program, you can see you're setting the style of what you're displaying as the X and Y label and the title using a dictionary. And then you use this dictionary as you see fit within the program code. Now, when you execute this program, what you're going to see is this. And look at the labels for the axis and the title of the graph, and you can see they're blue, size 15, and the weight is bold. So the way in which I've changed the program hasn't affected the look of the graph. But where we do have some advantage here is, what if I wanted to change everything that's displayed in terms of the labels and the title in the color red? Well, I'd only have to change it here. I'd change this blue to red. Let's summarize the changes I've just applied to the first program we looked at in this video. You can see here I've got the program statement responsible for putting the label on the x-axis. This was responsible for putting the label on the y-axis, and this program statement placed the title of the graph. If we look in all of these positions within the program statements, we can see they're identical. Color blue, size 15, weight bold. Now, instead of putting all of these within each of these statements, we can follow the alternative path of creating a style as a dictionary, where you can see I've got color blue, size 15, and weight bold. Then these program statements can be changed as shown here. You can see I've passed in the dictionary instead of passing in this lot. And I've done the same here. This replaces this lot, and I've done the same here. Moving on, let's consider this computer program. This was the line in the previous computer program, but I've commented it out with these two hash symbols. Now that means that this line will not execute. It's not now part of the program. In place of this line, I've typed in this, where you can see the color is red, the size is 25, and the weight is normal. So I've altered what goes in the dictionary. And of course, these three lines haven't changed. I've just changed these values here within the dictionary. Now, when this program executes, this is what we're going to get. And if you look to these, you can see they have been altered according to the changes that I've made to the dictionary. You can see they're all red, they're no longer bold, and they're at size 25, whereas previously they were at size 15, so you can see they're all bigger. Moving on, we can look at the output from the programs I've been considering. This is the program that we initially considered, and if you look at the X and Y label and the title, you can see that they're all blue, they're all bold, and they're all of size 15. And that was because I set the dictionary, as you can see here, with the color being blue, the size being 15, and the weight being bold. I then altered the program, and when I altered the program, this is the output. And if you look at the X and Y labels here and the title, you can see they're all red, they're all bigger because I've set the size to 25, and they're no longer bold. And that's because I altered the dictionary as shown here, where I made the color red, the size 25, and the weight as normal. Now, the advantage of using a dictionary is it will set a consistent style for your plots. And of course, if you decided you want to change the style for whatever reason, such as in this example, we changed the color to red from blue, you only have to change it in the dictionary, and the change will be reflected throughout the program whenever you use that dictionary.